Hi, everybody. Welcome again to Music is Medicine Monday. My name is Amy, and I'm here every week talking about voice, communication, expression, and sharing some music with you. For those of you who don't know me, I work a lot in voice and expression and communication. I'm a voice and communications coach, and I look at voice from a holistic modality. So what I find is that when our thinking mind is clear, and we're very focused on what it is that's there, and our emotions and our somatic experience or felt experience all come together, they all resonate from the same place, then our voice is going to be more powerful and impactful. And one of the main reasons that clients come to me, or maybe not the main reason, a common reason clients come to me, is that in their work environment, the voice or professional persona that they've developed is no longer meeting the new expectations or the new possibilities in where they are. So let me clarify this a little bit. So this week, every week I do a theme, and this week I really want to talk about leadership that encompasses both the heart and the head and the communication styles that do so. And these clients that come to me generally are in a new realm of communication. So, for example, it might be an employee who is now becoming a manager. And so no longer does just, specific, detail-oriented communication work. They now need more level of heart and relatability and an ability to inspire. Or it might be a client who has done one job that they've gotten very good at, and then has now decided to move into a career that's really where their heart is and their passion is. And what happens a lot of times in these situations when we kind of expand in our career, particularly, is when we realize that this new level of voice is needed, kind of a grander gesture of our voice, our passions, our beliefs, our experiences, our wisdom, our leadership coming through, we often come up against our stuff, straight up our stuff, our insecurities, our feelings of, oh my God, I don't know how to do that. And how do I bring that new level of communication in, and maybe the insecurities and the imposter syndrome and all of that stuff that happens. So first of all, I just want to say that's normal. It's so normal. We all do it. I do it. We all go through these moments when we're trying to bring in a new skill of our voice. So how do we do that? How do we bring in a new level of voice and meet ourselves where we are while also supporting ourselves into who we're becoming, into the communication style that we're becoming? Now, the blog below that I have linked below, it speaks mostly to the professional world, but the reality is this can be done in our relationships, this can be done in any of our communication, is when we want to be a more effective communicator or leader, understanding what it is we want to cultivate and how to get there, and then supporting ourselves to get there is the path. And we can all cultivate these skills. So in the blog, I touch on kind of some key points, and I won't dive too deep into them, but I want to touch on them here because I think it has some value. So the first thing is presence. Presence is the foundation to communication. Presence is what enables us to see what our strengths and weaknesses are. And presence is also the way that we communicate effectively in a multitude of situations. Right? Our communication style isn't rigid, it isn't linear. Ideally, the really effective communicators, really effective leaders, they're able to draw from this massive toolkit and meet their audience where their audience needs to be met, right? So if I'm an employer, and I have one staff member who is, kind of is always testing the boundaries and pushing too hard, I might need to employ a very assertive and clear communication style where I'm very steady. On the other side, if I have an employee who is really there's so much power in them, I can see their possibility, but is timid, then I'm probably going to want more warmth, and more of a drawing in and a relatability. And that dance of communication requires a lot of presence. So meditation, mindfulness, toning, time just to go for a walk or take 3 deep breaths is huge in developing these new skills in communication. Progressing from that, it's important when we find these new places of communication or leadership to really take inventory of the skills that we do have and to appreciate what's there so that we can anchor into those while cultivating the skills we want to cultivate. Yeah? And then to cultivate those new skills, perhaps we look to the teachers that are all around us. You know, there are incredible leaders, whether we know them personally or we know them online, that we can draw from their tone, we can draw from the way that they express themselves. So an example would be, let's say I am trying to become more inspiring in my communication and in my presentations. I love Brené Brown. Personally, she's in a similar field, and I love the way that she's able to balance both the scientific and the personal stories. So I might actually look at that behavior, oh, I love those personal stories, and start to employ them and even emulate her a little. Notice how she does it, play with it. And one of the challenges to growing our voice can be that we want to stay authentic. And by that I mean, if we hold so rigidly to what our authenticity is, then we actually prevent ourselves from growing. So we can authentically want to pursue a different skill. You know, I want to play with asking more questions so I hear my employees better. Or I'm going to start offering, you know, how I feel about things to invite a greater sense of intimacy in the workforce. Yeah? And then really it comes down to playing and practicing and embodying. So if I want to be more firm and assertive in my communication, I might actually practice in front of a mirror saying my opinion in a way that feels like it's in my gut and I'm sturdy in it. Or if I want to convey more softness, I might gently touch my heart and speak to a friend and share with them what I want to share in my work environment in a way that touches my heart so that I can get a felt sense of what that is. If you are in that time of transition and you are seeking to find a more resonant voice in your work or kind of up level, I invite you to read the blog. I'd love to know what you think. And ultimately to know that whatever that is that you're wanting to grow, whatever the skill is, if it's being a better listener, being more assertive, being more concise, that those skills are truly possible, that they can be cultivated, and that we're not stuck in one place. I brought up this theme partly because tomorrow is a big day in the world, and I know for a lot of my American friends it's an extra big day, but for the rest of the world it's a big day with the election and with things happening. And our ability to stay both steady and open so that we can hear opinions and ideas of people that we might disagree with, and that we can try and meet on common ground. You know, those common grounds of humanity. I think that that is so important. And I really believe that our personal conviction to meet ourselves and to know ourselves and to communicate with more resonance and honesty, as well as listen more deeply, I think that is how we move forward. And at least in the conversations I get to have on a regular basis with incredible people, I really do believe in the possibility of that and of growth and of change. So on that, I'll play some music because that's what we're also here for. And the first song I want to play is a Bruce Cockburn song, Lovers in a Dangerous Time. It seems fitting that sometimes when we choose to come from love, even when those around us are losing their heads or losing their care, that it can be a fight. Not a violent fight, but a deep, internal kind of embodying ourself. Don't the hours grow shorter as the days go by? You never get to stop and open your eyes. One day you're waiting for the sky to fall. The next you're dazzled by the beauty of it all. When you're lovers in a dangerous time. Lovers in a dangerous time. These fragile bodies of touch and taste, this fragrant skin, this hair like a lace. Spirit open to the thrust of grace. Never a breath we can afford to waste. When we're lovers in a dangerous time. Lovers in a dangerous time. Lovers in a dangerous, lovers in a dangerous when we're lovers in a dangerous time. Sometimes we're made to feel as if our love's a crime, but nothing worth having comes without some kind of fight. Gotta kick at the darkness till it bleeds in light. When we're lovers in a dangerous time. Lovers in a dangerous time. Lovers in a dangerous, lovers in a dangerous lovers in a dangerous, lovers in a dangerous time. There is a aspect in the Vedic tradition, and as many of you know, yoga is my template. And something that really called me to the practice was in the mythology, in the Vedic mythology, and these goddesses, there's so much dynamicism. They're so dynamic. You know, Kali is this like destroyer, warrior force. And Durga's like this warrior strong mama. And Sita is so devout and so tender. And Sarasvati is so wise and so eloquent. And what I love about these depictions of the goddess, the depictions really of what is in us, is that whether it's force or firmness or strength or softness or gentleness, that all of these are a part of us. And so I'm going to share a cappella one of my favorite mantras, Jayambe, to Durga, which really speaks of these different goddesses. And the thread that connects these is that these actions from the goddess don't come from a not enoughness. It's not from a you need to see this, or a self-righteousness, or an insecurity. It is more that from a very wide space of love. Sometimes we are called to be firm and strong. Sometimes we are called to be soft. Just like a parent is going to give discipline to their child because they care. These actions can be or these behaviors or these voices are in resonance when they come from that place of connection, of care, and of love. And so, fortunately, I got some reverb on this. I want to sing this a cappella because it's how I sing this mantra when I'm not on video. Mata Bhavani Jayambe Jayambe Jagatambe Mata Bhavani Jayambe Dukkha Vinasini Durga Jai Jai Kola Vinasini Koli Jai Uma Rama Brahmani Jai Jai Radha Rukamini Sita Jai Jayambe Jagatambe Mata Bhavani Jayambe Jayambe Jagatambe Mata Bhavani Jayambe. May the voice which guides you speak loud and clear. May you trust your heart and your grace. Find steadiness in who you are. Allow yourself to learn and encompass the width and possibility in your voice. And may you know that your voice is a gift, as well as knowing that the voices of others are also a gift. Thank you for your time and your grace. Thank you for joining me today. So much love.